Since the original Redmi Note, Xiaomi's Redmi Note series has been the gold standard for budget phablets, offering mid-range specs at very competitive pricing. But with the launch of the incredibly powerful Pocophone F1 and the magnificent Honor 8X, is there any more reason to consider getting the Redmi Note series? Hi there, I'm AK Guy and this is my review of the Redmi Note 6 Pro. This device is now available in Singapore starting at $289 for the base version with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. At just $40 more, you can opt for the version with 4GB of RAM and double the storage. The body of the device consists of a metal back surrounded by a plastic frame similar to the Redmi 5. It looks really good, but the size makes it feel a little cheap. If Honor is able to put a glass back body on the Honor 8X, I don't see why Xiaomi can't replace the plastic frame with a metal one on a similarly priced Redmi Note 6 Pro. We still have a headphone jack right on top, plus an IR blaster for controlling your TV and many other home appliances. There are two speaker grills at the bottom of the device, though only the right one houses a speaker. Between the grills is a micro USB port. Yup, still micro USB. The SIM tray is located on the left side of the device and it has a nano SIM slot plus a hybrid slot for an SD card or second nano SIM. On the back, we have a dual camera setup as well as a fingerprint scanner that's really fast. And now, to the front. This is one area where the Redmi Note 6 Pro is really different from its predecessor. It features a notch design, the first for Redmi Note series. The size of the bottom chin is acceptable, but the bezels are pretty thick and the notch on top occupies quite a bit of space. Performance-wise, there isn't any significant difference between this and the Redmi Note 5 from last generation. It does similarly well in benchmarks and can run demanding games like ROS at high graphics without stutter, but moving to excellent graphics, you will start noticing frame drops. However, when battery drops below 20%, performance takes a deep dive. Games like PUBG Mobile and apps like Camera will start showing serious signs of stutter. Now, let's talk about cameras. There are a total of 4 cameras on the Redmi Note 6 Pro. 2 in the front and 2 on the rear. I'm now recording on the dual rear cameras of the Redmi Note 6 Pro. These cameras can only record up to Full HD at 30 frames per second, which is pretty disappointing if you ask me. Colors are really nice and there isn't much over sharpening. At least not as bad as I have seen on phones like the Oppo R9. Image stabilization, it's okay. I've seen the results. It isn't too good. Videos will appear bumpy as you walk. I'm now recording on the front-facing cameras. Dynamic range seems to be doing pretty good, at least for front-facing cameras. Let's just walk around. Photos taken with the rear cameras during the day are a little too vibrant, but that makes them look very pleasing to the eyes. At night though, this is when the Redmi Note 6 Pro shines. With decent lighting, photos turn out sharp with just a little bit of noise. When the lighting gets too bad, you will opt to introduce more noise rather than increasing shutter speed, so photos will not turn out blurry. The front cameras are capable of taking great looking selfies, though dynamic range is nowhere as good as rear cameras. They are also used for face unlock, which is pretty accurate but slow compared to a competition. Redmi Note 6 Pro runs MIUI 9.6 on top of Android 8.1 out of the box. Having used MIUI for years, I love its intuitive UI and features, but ads have gotten out of control recently. So, Redmi Note 6 Pro, should you get one? There are only 2 areas that I will consider to be significant improvements over the Redmi Note 5. The first of them is this dual camera setup on the front. It takes pretty incredible photos and videos for front-facing cameras. And next, this display is much larger than the previous one because of the new notch design. But otherwise, the Redmi Note 6 Pro isn't that big of an improvement over the Redmi Note 5. Its pricing is slightly more affordable, it uses the same processor, and in actual usage, the performance is really similar. But what really disappoints me is its battery life. On previous Redmi Note devices, I was able to get 1.5 to 2 days of battery life. But with this, I'm only able to get 1 full day of use with 2 hours of intensive gaming and 5 hours of screen on time. For now, the Redmi Note 6 Pro is an okay choice, but definitely do consider other phones that are similarly priced, like the Honor 8X and the Oppo A8X5. If the Pocophone F1 is within your budget, I highly recommend getting that instead.